Hi, Lee. I'll be on in just a few more minutes. Hi, Kieran. Y'all can hear me okay, right? Welcome, Papa to Shrek. Papa to from Catalonia. Ah, Catalans. Valencia or Barcelona? We have a visitor today. Say hi, Perry. Oh, you were interested enough to come down, but not interested enough to say hi. Hi again, Lee. I'll be running trains in a little bit, waiting to see if a few more people get here. And my son's cat, Perry, came down to visit. Okay, first movie impersonation of the day. What's the best way to do it this way? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Okay, thanks, Perry. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Oh, now you're back again. What? Remember, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The language, the themes, the attitude, and personality of your presenter was not suitable for his own children. And yet he behaves this way anyhow. Topics discussed will not center on just trains, but will focus on anything except politics. We do not discuss politics here. It just so happens I'll be running trains while we all hang out. Any similarity between character situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence, and any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, David Cook. How are you? This is a generic song, so I can't tell you who it's by. It comes on my video editing software. I've gotten copyright claims. Now, again, a lot of people are scared to play music because they worry about copyright strikes. Uh, you're more likely to get hit with a copyright claim, which just means if you're trying to make money on your webpage, your YouTube channel, then you can't. Whatever money that particular video would make goes to whoever made the copyright claim. And the thing is, a lot of really jerks, let's say, a lot of jerks out there will go ahead and put copyright claims even though they don't have a copyright claim. They'll put it on a video just because they can make the claim and get the money, except I don't make any money. I am not a for-profit YouTube channel. I'm never going to be a for-profit YouTube channel. So, hey, Heath, how are you? There's no such thing as late on one of my streams, Heath. I do want to send a special welcome to Papa Tu Shrek. First time I've seen your name, unless you've changed it, all the way from Catalonia, which, to avoid being political, is currently on the Mediterranean coast of the nation of Spain. Little bit of true history for you. The Italians like to claim Christopher Columbus was Italian. Christopher Columbus was not Italian. He was Catalonian. What few letters we have, he not only wrote in Spanish, but specifically in Catalonian, not even Spanish. He wrote in Catalonian. There is no way Christopher Columbus was from Italy. He was probably from Catalonia. He probably served in some less than well-reputed naval ventures. In other words, the equivalent of maybe a pirate. And suddenly found himself in the Spanish Navy and worked his way up and then offered himself to, there wasn't even technically a Spain at the time, but he offered himself in services to Ferdinand and Isabella and after the war. And in fact, that was the whole point. He nagged them so much, they only gave him the ships, and they gave him the 3 worst ships they had left after one of the wars of, not wars of succession, but one war that the countries were fighting in. They gave them the ships just to say, get the F out of here, and if you're profitable, cool. But there you go. A little bit of additional history there. All right. Let's see what's going on today. If you were here the other day, well, I think last time I did was Friday, Thursday or Friday. And Jason goes live at 3 my time, 8 p.m. BST time. British summertime. So I will definitely be off by 3, if not sooner. I have been having a mild technological disaster the last few days. My laptop computer completely broke on the bottom. I don't know what it is. It's my second laptop in a row where the screen hinges onto the main keyboard. It just snaps in half. Shoddy design, glue that held it in place comes loose, something pops out. But it just, I went to close it yesterday and it totally popped the back off and tore out a couple of little sockets. So one of my laptops is dead right now. Hi, Jackie, and hi, Chris. So yeah, I think Perry's not going to pay anymore. He just came down out of the blue and So I thought I'd do my bit. So yeah, I've got to figure out how I can afford a laptop. The problem is, if you guys were here, I talked about getting a green train, so I actually started the process. I talked to my friend AC Andrew Chevalier at AC Euro Trains, and he was. We were starting the venture of getting an Alex train going, and now I gotta try to figure out how I'm going to replace my laptop. And I was also going to finally invest in a 3D printer off my coming paycheck this week. But now that's either going to go to new laptop or 3D printer. I got to figure out how this is all going to balance out. Anyhow, as always, we are running Maryland trains. Although, actually, I have I have a Rocco and a Pico. Rocco and Pico. Rocco is an Austrian company. Pico is German. P-I-K-O. I know I've got a lot of UK people here that know Pico as in P-E-C-O, but it's German Pico. And then, so that's one Rocco, but made for Maryland. One Pico made for Maryland, and one, or then the other four are Maryland. So I always start off with the railjet. We'll come flying around here in a second. Playing scales as it always does. I hate this tablet. I need a new tablet too, but there it is. All right, let's get. We'll turn that sound off now. And we will get the ICE3 going. Same trains I had. So Austrian Railjet, OBB Railjet, Österreichisches Bundesbahn, the Austrian Federal Railway, and then Deutsche Bahn, the German Federal Railway. Everybody's good, everybody's good. So let's get that ICE2 in motion. Come on, chop, chop. Get to it, get to it. Whoops. I don't want you to slow down that much. Get him going on the speed steps. One Czech railjet on the road. That is the Czech railjet. České dráhy. České dráhy. I'll come back and see who else is coming. Hey! Hi there, Ian. How are you today, sir? I hope you're well. Hope your wife is well. Not too fast on the České dráhy, the Czech railjet. You are doing a short loop, so let's keep you looking a little more realistic. All right, so now it's time to get the freight train. Yes, I'm running a freight train again. Off he goes. Hopefully he'll go nice and smooth. And finally the little guy in the background. Sorry, Ian. It was nice to see you temporarily. And we'll get everybody going here. And just in case we still have a couple of new people, if you want to know how things fit together, here's my layout. Even though I am facing you in the picture in the middle of the screen, I'm actually facing away from that. I am facing what's right above me there where it says CS3 laptop. The laptop is the camera I'm on right now, the laptop camera. And then I have a tablet, which I also use to control my trains along with my Central Station 3. And so I have a 22-foot long run in the back, and then on this side, looking at the right, I have an 8 by 11.5. On the left, it's a 8 by 12.5 sections, and then the middle is And I'm doing feet. And then the middle is 30 inches by 6 feet. So it's 8 feet long, 6 feet long, 8 foot long for 22 feet, 12 and a half foot deep, 11 and a half foot deep, and in the middle, 30 inches or 2.5 feet deep. And so we have different views. For example, this we call the long run. That is in the upper right corner of the map. And we'll follow the IC2 up. This is called Up the Ramp because it's actually a ramp that leads up to the Delmenhorst Station. So we have the Delmenhorst Station right here. The city of Delmenhorst is an actual city in northwest Germany. It's about 9-10 miles west. And then we have what we call the village view, looking at my eventual village of Delmenhorst, and you can see the station in the distance. And you can see the station cam there on a pedestal. And then we have what we call the 11-lane run because there's 11 lanes across your view screen. At any one time, I have 6 trains running. I can't do 7. I could do less, but I just like to have 6 trains running. So nothing is truly prototypical other than my Delmenhorst station and the 3 lanes there. And then back to the long run where that's going. So let's see. More views all the way out. So I do have sort of this view, which is all the cameras. The numbers are in order, so they go clockwise. Station view, village view, and from the village view, they'll come around to number 3, the 11-lane view. And then going clockwise down in the right-hand corner, number 4, that is the upper right-hand corner of my map. And then when they come around that corner, they'll do the map. So there's a multi-view. The other big technology failure I have besides breaking my... Now, I have 3 computers. I have my hobby laptop, which is also the one I take with me to work when I go to work, and it's the one I tend to use if I'm sitting in the living room and streaming. I have this laptop, which is only connected to my train system, and this is the one I use for streaming, or if I'm in my basement here working on stuff. And then I have a old desktop computer, which is up in my bedroom. If it's later in the evening and I'm working on stuff for school, and instead of using my laptop and taking it upstairs, I pack my laptop away for work the next morning and I work on my desktop. But now my primary laptop has died, or has broken. That's the second straight, it annoys me. It's the second straight laptop I've had. One a Toshiba, the other one a Dell, or what was this one? Oh, a Toshiba and a Hewlett-Packard. And where the hinges between the screen and the keyboard break and pop the casing, but this time it popped the casing and messed up some of the wiring inside, and I'm not a computer geek enough anymore to try to fix it myself, so it's just time to buy a new one. Don't forget to get Jackie a drink too, Chris. I do have my trains going pretty fast here, so which makes them a little noisier. I'm going to slow them down just a bit. Uh-oh. Why is my computer saying... Excuse me a second. Ah, good. Saved it. For some reason the laptop cord wasn't in. So it was telling me battery was dying. So the other techno isn't so much technology, it's lack of technology. I ordered a bunch of stuff which was going to be a weekend project. I was going to put lights in a couple of my trains. And I was hoping that today would be the big review day. Since some of my cars don't have lights in the interior, I was going to do that this weekend. But 4 different packages from Amazon got lost somewhere. They're all somewhere between where I ordered them and here. 2 claim to be in the city, but they haven't been out for delivery, even though they were supposed to have been delivered last Friday, Thursday and Friday. 2 other things were supposed to be here Saturday and aren't here yet either. So it's really frustrating. Hello, Jeff Hammond. Thanks for stopping by. No, I appreciate you enjoying all my trains, but your work is impressive. This is just a nice little train table running a lot of trains. Everybody's at the ramp. That's a good time to click over to that. That nice Austrian Railjet. Love that Austrian Railjet. And we're going to go straight to the station and watch it coming through. And we're going to stay on the village view because we got a couple of guys coming around. Let's go back into the station. And then up the ramp because we got 2 ICEs passing each other. Then we're going to go straight down to the long run. You can see that Austrian Railjet, or Czech Railjet, and the Austrian Railjet. And then the 11-lane view, you can see a few guys coming through here. But yes, I was joking about needing a green train, and I started talking to Andrew Chevalier at AC Euro Trains. He's a great site out in Stockton, California. He's an official PICO, P-I-K-O, train hobby shop. But I get my PICO whenever I order PICO from him, and that's what I'm getting. Rather than order from my model bond shop Lipa, I could get it a little cheaper, actually a lot cheaper, to be fair, if I bought it straight from Germany and got it shipped here. But to get it shipped here and then out to California, to have him redo it for me, it actually does wind up being a little cheaper because he gives me a deal on the parts and labor. So it'll actually be cheaper, but it'll take a little longer to get it. But I've got an Alex train, and then my friend Herb in Canada offered me some Era 5, which is say mid-90s or mid-80s to the year 2000 in Germany. That's Era 5 in Germany. He offered me some Era 5 Bavarian Deutsche Bahn trains, which have green stripes on them. And I'll probably take those off his hand. So if you are watching this later today, Herb, yeah, I will probably go for those. Oops. All right, so especially if you're new here, if you have your website you want to advertise, you're all be united, or at least if I recognize you. If I don't recognize you, I tend to wait a little while. Jeff Hammond has an amazing site. If you haven't subscribed to Chris, the Hales Heritage Railway here, subscribe to his channel every morning, 10 a.m. USA Eastern Coast Time, or 3 p.m. British Standard Time, 4 p.m. if you're in Western Europe. Just a fun little chat. Of course, maybe I shouldn't advertise. It's kind of nice to have a small chat. But he does some cool things. And he won my contest last week. So, St. Blazy Model World. That's a new name. Tell us about yourself. Where you're from? What do you model? And why don't you do that as well, Mr. Shrek from Catalans? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Doppler effect. They all get to the other side and the sound sounds different. Sometimes I have this view, which is just the 4 main cameras. Had 5 of the 6 coming through there at one time. Most people ignore the little diesel guy in the background of this image. There he is right there. That is a Lindt class 648, very standard German commuter, regional commuter train, diesel. Well, St. Blazy, all I can say is everybody was at 20 subs once. And some have 70,000 subs now, and some have 100 subs now. But everybody was at 20 subs once. I was lucky because once my kids and friends and some students got in, I was already at 50. My wife still hasn't subscribed to my channel, simply because she technically goes on YouTube but doesn't have her own account. She just goes on. She's just a random viewer. I keep trying to encourage her to set up a channel, not to actually post videos, but just so, well, like she could subscribe to my channel. I also have one daughter who hasn't subscribed to my YouTube channel. But she keeps Joyce and me off of most of her social media. She friended me on Facebook finally, but yeah, she keeps us off her social media. But my oldest daughter, Lynn, is probably working on some signs for some of her business, and sometimes she's listening in. So, hi, sweetie, if you're listening in. Growing that little baby grandchild of mine, probably a granddaughter. It's going to be a granddaughter, but got that little. Well, St. Blazy, Charlie is a great page. He's wonderful to watch, but he's not even in the top 8, top 10 of UK model train sites. He's nowhere near Everard Junction, Sam's Trains, IC82, Will, and a few others. He's got a great channel. Don't compare subs. Don't compare subs. Don't compare layouts. I am shocked that I've got over 500 people subscribed to this channel. Okay, I bought 300 of them from a Nigerian, but that's a different story. And only 7 months ago, I had 225 subscribers, and I've obviously more than doubled. I've gone up 233% in the last 7 months. Now, granted, a lot of my subscriptions went up when I started doing the Märklin shows on my channel. That really brought in a lot of people that are into Märklin trains but hate watching the Märklin German sites because they only do it in German. So you have that story again. But if I can preach for a minute or 10, don't chase subs. Don't do things with the hopes of getting subscribers. Now, everybody says they don't, but a lot of them do. That's why they'll put out videos telling you, hey, here's how you can get a lot more subs, just like I have. And, I mean, there are things to do if you specifically want subs. Charlie does a video. A couple other guys do videos that explain how to get subs. But when it all comes down to it, I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of subs, but I was going to try to be a channel like Charlie's or a channel like Everard Junction or any of those guys. Heck, Paul App's channel. I was a member of his channel when he was No Name Junction and had about 170 subscribers. And now, just in the last year or so, he's ballooned up. God, what is he? 3, 4, 5,000 now? Just for his train channel, and he also does a cool painting channel. But we have people all over here. Heath is at, I think he just said 360. Chris is at about 80. Lee here just passed 200 recently. But here, let me knight you, St. Blazy, and maybe we can get you some subs. So there. Now, St. Blazy, if you want, you can post your you can post a link to your page and let people check it out. Page, channel, it's all the same to me. Well, hello, Richard. Here's another great channel to check out, Richard. Richard Brown's channel is Trains in the Attic. A really cool channel. I've been following that channel for at least 18 months. Yeah, you got your lights on. Okay, good. So, let's see. Is there a cool scene? Let's do, whoops, up the ramp. Let's do station. Catch him coming through the station. There we go. We got the two ICEs passing each other. ICE 2 and an ICE 3. I also have an ICE 1, which is not in running condition right now. Technically, I could run it, but it needs some tender love and care to really get it going. But it's a great one. It's in really good shape, especially for the age. It just needs a little bit of a tune-up to do the heavy-duty running I want to do with it. So, is he still here? Is he still here? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Shooby-dooby-doo. Yep, maybe he's gone now. All the way back in time. Papito. So, Papito, if you're here still, I don't know if you've left us, but you can pop your thing. Oh, I left the station on and nobody's there. Okay, Jeff. Let's see. Let's do it this way. This is a Logitech C90. C920, I'm sorry. That's a Logitech C920. And I'll wait till he gets going back there. This is a Logitech C920. So I got two Logitech C920s or 920Cs. Sometimes they put it in front, sometimes they put it after. And do it again, bow, bow, bow. This guy is a Logitech 922. So 3 of my cameras are Logitechs. This guy is an imitation Logitech. It's called a 920E, but it's some generic company. It's like where they make about 80 cameras of the same exact thing and stick 40 different company names on them. And then this is also some generic El Cheapo, as we call it here, an El Cheapo. And then I have my Acer computer cam. So you can all see these amazing, beautiful blue eyes. Aren't they just dreamy? Hey, they got me a wife. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, let's go call views. Hey, general modeling is great, St. Blazy. So, yeah, if you haven't posted the link yet, post the link. Uh-oh. Yeah, the wife snuck past. She had to sneak past. She knew I would have made her come on camera if I'd heard her. But yeah, general modeling is cool. There's several sites. Luke Towan is a general modeler, and he's got 1 million subs now out of Australia. But half his subs are model trained people. The other half are Oompa Loompas, but we won't talk about that. Well, welcome, Lettuce Trains. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, I am. I am very proud of my layout room. It is a basement. Until 4 years ago, this was my kids' playroom. Well, let's see. When my kids were little, all my kids are grown. My baby is 25 now. No, 25 now, yeah. My youngest is 25. Um, but when we bought this house, and again, this is American standards, American middle class standards, so please don't take offense. But by American middle class standards, this house was what they call a starter home, a bungalow. It had 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. It had an attic and an unfinished basement. And the guy who owned the house before me finished the basement and made it an entertainment room. And that was 30 years ago. Well, actually, 33 years ago that he finished it. He did his work, and then he turned the attic into a bedroom. So on the outside, the house is kind of small by American standards, but on the inside, it's got a lot of space. And so when we bought this house in 1993, the yard was small, but I had 2 young kids at the time. When we moved in, I had 2 daughters at the time. One was 4 and the other one was a year and a half old. And this was their playroom. So they just had this giant playroom. So even if their bedroom was kind of small, they had this big playroom for them. And then we had our son, and this was their playroom. Once they got a little older, we turned this into a family room, a second TV, so the kids didn't want to watch what I was watching upstairs. Hi, Mike Visser. No, all I know is the official ICE4, not the green stripe one, is supposed to be November-ish, give or take a few weeks, November of this year. The green stripe IC4 is late January, early February of next year. So let me finish the story real quick. Anyhow, Mark, great to have you here. And so I'll try to answer other questions as I finish explaining this. So once my kids got older and were teenagers, we turned this into a hangout room, TV. I had my library in here for a while, and my kids could hang out here, watch TV, play video games, have their friends over without mom and dad hanging over them. And then when my kids grew up, got married or moved out, although 2 of my kids currently live with me, but one is temporary while his girlfriend is finishing up school. They both went, my son's got a degree in pharmacy and chemical engineering. My son wanted to make the chemicals, not sell them. But she's finishing up her degree in pharmacy, and they're probably going to get married, and they're just going to wait and see where she gets in. So my son was living on his own, but he had to do a year renewal on his lease, and he didn't want to be trapped in a lease for a year, so he moved back into the house here for a while and brought his cat, which is great because I was sad when my son moved out the first time. He was only 19 the first time he moved out, and no, son, don't go. You got plenty of time. I wasn't ready to let my kids go. But anyhow, I turned short stories into long ones. We turned this into a hobby and gaming room, and I used to do my war gaming down here. And then my one daughter turned it into her sewing room. And then when I got into model trains, I took it away from her and said, this is my train room. So that's the long story of this. So it's a big basement, which I rebuilt 3 years ago. I had to remodel it. We had a flood and everything got damaged and the walls were all messed up. So I had to tear out all the walls and redo it. But it's brighter and cleaner. Okay. Wants to hang out and watch a movie. Cool. You were in Liverpool. Lucky you. Someday I'll go to Liverpool. Hopefully in 2022 I'll be in Liverpool. Let me see. Somebody was asking something and I missed it. Oh, okay. Now I caught it. So no, I wasn't asked. Build an engage with nowhere for it to live. That was those were my dating days. We were in college. My wife and I were in college, and um, we were working to pay for school because I did I did something stupid. I started my college career at the United States Military Academy, West Point. That's the American version of Sandhurst. I had scholarships to all kinds of schools, but when I left West Point, I had no scholarships left, and my family being poor, I had to pay my way through school. So I paid my way through high school, and then once I left West Point, I paid my way through college. And my wife paid her way through college. So money was tight when we dated. So dates were, we went and played pool, we went bowling, or we went and sat in her house and watched TV. Those were our dates. Hi, Johndawson. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. I am excited. Oh, look, I left this on the station again. I get talking and don't pay attention to what you guys are watching, which was nothing except my station. Someday my buses will be running full time down there, but I've got to rewire something. I've given up on trying to use the module. Let's do up the ramp. There goes that IC3. God, I love the ICEs. But the rail jets are cooler. My German blood boils at me conceding that the Austrians have a cooler train, but it's a cooler train. I love the rail jets. Yes, my wife, I think from the minute my daughter got married in 2012, and I got it right. If you're watching, sweetheart, I got it right this time. Their anniversary's coming up in a couple of weeks. So they've been married almost 8 years. And as soon as my daughter got married, my wife was, so when am I going to be a grandma? And I know in this day and age, they don't have to go in that order, but we're kind of old-fashioned, and it's like marry first, then kids. So finally, it's going to happen. January. I think my daughter said January 9th is the official due date right now. Those trains come in, the white filter picks up on them, and then it shades right back down. All right, let's go somewhere else. Let's go to all scenes. Well, let's go to 11 lane. We got some guys coming in. But now a green train, I could take out one of the white trains and put a green train, and then I'll just have all kinds of colors. Maybe I can do a rainbow day if I got enough different colors of trains. But really, I gotta watch it. My wife's been looking at me for a week and a half since I started talking about getting a green train. And the other day, I think she just finally nodded her head and conceded I was going to get a green train. It fits all the rules. It's a train we've ridden on twice. We've ridden on the train. It's Era 6. But the funny thing is, she hated riding the trains in real life. It's the German company Alex, which is short for Allgäuer Express. Allgäu is a section of southwestern Bavaria. And my wife was very much not in favor of me getting an Alex train because she hated riding. They were just so rickety, and they were diesel, and the diesel fumes were coming into the cars we were in, and most of them were corridor wagons where you have a corridor and individual. My wife hates the individual compartments on trains because you may start alone, but somebody always comes in. She'd rather sit side by side where nobody else is going to sit next to you, even if the distance is the same. I guess she figures you can whisper. But yeah, my wife was, she didn't like the Alex train in real life, so she's wasn't enthusiastic about me getting a model of an Alex train. That dark red train, let me see, where's he going right now? Oh, he's coming around. He'll come on the 11 lane view here in just a second. That beautiful magenta, dark ash gray, and red striped train is the Austrian Railjet, Austria's top high-speed train. They are gorgeous inside and out. There is not a livery in the world I like more than the Austrian Railjet. Everybody has their own opinions, but I love that livery. They're gorgeous trains. Even their, and my wife and I sit economy class. Only once in our life have we ridden first class. And that was, they offered us a bump up on an old train, and so we sat in the first class section of this old train. But they offered us, you know, normally it would have been 30 euros more, and they offered it to us for like 9 euros more. And we said, cool, we'll take it. But that is the Austrian Railjet. I have not officially ridden on one. I've been on one. It stopped at Munich train station, and I hopped on it because it had like a 10-minute layover and just wanted to see the inside of one. And it was this actual train. It was really cool. It was this actual train, the same car numbers and the same locomotive number. But that was in Munich, and we hopped on it and checked it out. But we were going to ride one this summer, but that got canceled. Hey, March West, anyhow, that was your question, and nice to have you here, anyhow. I'll give you the greeting. And then there is a Czech Railjet, which is blue. And I like the livery on that, but not as much as the Czech, or the Austrian. The blue one's the Czech, and I've ridden on a Czech Railjet. When my wife and I went from Dresden to Prague in 2017, we rode on a Czech Railjet. And the UK's got a lot of gorgeous liveries. I mean, both now and in the past. So, but to me, the Austrian is just... And then my other favorite livery is that ICE. The pure... I love the purity of that German white with the red stripe down the middle. Which, if you don't know, although I mention it pretty much everyone, that's how you know it's a German high-speed train. If it's white with a red stripe, it's German and high-speed. Hey, Leslie Gilpin, thanks for stopping by. Which one? Yeah, I was waiting for that one to come up, Chris. I always throw that codicil in, and I forgot to do it today, and you got me on it. We rode on the DB Schenker container wagons, of course. Jeez, Chris, I think you would have known that by now. We had a private container wagon. Oh, and the things we did. I'm sorry, that's probably getting a little too much disclosure there. But if you're going to ride in a rickety container, you might as well take advantage of the bouncing. No, wait, no, stop. That was totally inappropriate. I probably lost 5 subscribers to that one. Hey, Paul came in. I didn't see Paul come in. How did I miss Paul? There he is, 1:32. I'm only 2 minutes late, so I'm not going to feel bad. 6:32 your time. But again, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but just in case, I like to do it a couple of times. The layout map, if you want to know what's running and where things are. I'm in the middle in my control center. I am staring at the laptop. The Central Station 3 is to my left, your left. In this picture, it looks like it's my right, because it's a mirror image picture, but it's my left. And so to the right is the long run and my city of Delmenhorst with the station and the village view, and the up the ramp pictures are to the left. You can kind of get an idea where everything is. So you see there's a little station and a big station. I don't think in any of the angles you can see the big station. Yeah, well, you can kind of see the big station, the white building in the back. But that is the right-hand side. The hand of the Antichrist. Some of you call it the hand of God. In this house, it's the hand of the Antichrist. Curses! I shouldn't mess around. I screwed up 2 of my trains last week because I was being stupid. In a different way, though. Being stupid in a different way. But I do like this view, like back there with the railjet in the background. That's about the only time I feel like the scenery, other than the sky is falling in the middle. All my scenery is just crap I threw up on walls and on the side of the table just to entertain myself, not to impress anybody. I'm sure even my cat walks past and gone, man, I could have done a better job than that. But that's where it is. Up the ramp, there's an ICE2. You can tell an ICE2. And yes, they're not ICE trains, as I hear so many Americans and UK people call them. They're ICE, or ICE in German. And French and Dutch and Danish and everything else. Oh, yes. March West, I have a lot of double-decker stock. Usually some of it's running, but apparently I had a theme today. All my double-decker stock is parked. I have 3 double-decker trains. My metronome, I don't have any camera I could really throw on it. Well, hang on. I might be able to mess with one. The 11-lane camera. So just keep your view here. You won't hear me unless I shout. So if you look carefully over there before my hand starts shaking too bad, there's all my double-decker. There's the misses. Ha-ha, got you. So all my double-decker is over there. So I have 3 double-decker trains. I gotta figure out where I had this. There we go. Yeah, close enough. Alright, there we go. Okay, back to it. Well, no, I have not moved it, but I'm also not leaning on that part of the table. I've been over on the other side of the table, closer to this side. So I have not been bumping it. If you do see a slowdown, that is when our air conditioner kicks on. The house lights dim just a little. And yes, even my train table slows down a bit because we have had our air conditioner on, I think, for about 4 straight weeks without a day off because of this heat wave. So it's getting a little tired. Now, by the way, if you do see a little bit of blinking light, it's because one of my basement LED lamp setups is blinking, so don't think your eyes are going bad. And I need a bigger rail yard. Yeah, I do. That area I just showed you where all my double-decker are parked, that's actually going to be a full station. It's going to be modeled on the station in Bremen, Germany, but also Hanover, because they're kind of similar. And but I also use it as a parking area for my shorter trains. And what you can't see it's not even on the layout map, is way over to the right. Maybe you saw it briefly. I do have another parking area where I keep my longer trains, my Railjet and my ICEs. Hang on a second, I'll try to show you that one real quick. But yes, I would love a bigger fiddle yard. I went through a lot of crazy debates on how to build this layout because the key was, I'm going to go back to the map here. The key was this left-hand side because that was going to be a recreation of the city of Delmenhorst. Or the main part of Delmenhorst, the town hall, the market square, the main pedestrian zone, which then 3 blocks down to the train station. But then I decided to build the bus station. And while this gray area that says houses and houses is roughly how the city layout is in front of the bus station, it's actually 3 blocks. And in the bottom right-hand corner where it says Village View is where the City Hall and its connected water tower and the Market Square are all located. And then it kind of goes 45 degrees up and then angles down towards the church. But I was going to build the city of Delmenhorst. That's the goal. It wasn't so much a train as much as it was the station, the City Hall, with the trains running around it, but building the city of Delmenhorst. And then the other side was just going to be a parking area, but I always planned on having at least 3 loops going completely around. But as everybody's heard me say ad nauseum, I like running trains. It's ADD. I just like seeing a lot of trains running, so nothing is the dirty P word on this channel. The only bad word is the word prototype or prototypical. Nothing except my trains is prototypical. And even my freight train's probably not prototypical. I'm sure there's a rivet counter going, look at this idiot. Oh my God, look at this idiot. He's got his container cars in front of the tanker cars. Nobody puts oil cars and tanker cars on the same train. Nobody puts tanker cars behind the container cars. What is this idiot thinking? And I'm sure there's some rule I'm breaking. But the rest of my trains are prototyped. My Railjet is at a proper consist. My ICE 1 and 2 and 3 are all at proper consist. The only one that's not a proper consist right now is my Czech Railjet because it needs 2 more cars. Actually, 1 more for the short run consist. And I actually have it. It's just not AC ready. It's this. Hey, David, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I got a night mark here. At this stage, at this point in time, Mark, I am not planning on doing the M84s yet. I think somewhere 3 to 5 years down the road, when I get my village completely done and start running the system lights, excuse me, when I start running the city lights, and put just a couple of signals in near the station. I'll start running some of that through the M84. I'm not going to do block detection. I've got a friend and several subscribers that want me to show them block detection on my layout, but I don't plan on doing, I'm not doing block detection. If I was going to do it, I would have already set it up. I mean, technically there's a lot of areas where I could rip out and try to put block detection in, but I really don't want to do block detection. There's a lot of advantages. There's no negatives to it. It's just whether you want to do it or not. And to me, I don't see a reason. But it's awesome for the people who do it. I just, as much as my system is digital, all my, well, 2/3 of my motor turnouts are digital. So all I got to do is hit a button on my central station. See, there's the air conditioner kicking in. All my 2/3 of my switches, my turnouts, my points, whatever you want to call them, are digital, and all I got to do is hit a button to open them and close them. But I don't even need to do that because every lane has a train on it, so I'm not changing lanes on trains. But down the road, when I get a lot of lights and get everything in, I'll probably look at adding a couple of M84s. I hope I didn't belabor that answer too long. I probably did. Well, hi, ASGWR. How are you? Yes, and Leslie, your layout is awesome. I love that. And you capture all of Canada on it. In that little bit, you do such a great job of the Canadian Rockies in the west all the way to Toronto. I love your layout. And you did that in Engage, which I'm always impressed with because custom building the buildings is even harder in Engage. That's why you and Dave, who's now doing Engage, and so many other guys, John Warner, Piccadilly, holy cow, the scratch build and custom building in Engage is just amazing. Let me pop this up here. I do have another Railjet car, but I got to send this and get it turned into AC. This is a DC, and I got to get it made for 3-rail, which means they got to change out the bogies, wire it, and then he's got to install the lights in it so that it will fit in with my little check Railjet rolling away, and then that will be a proper consist. So technically, he's ready to go. But also someday I'm going to put catenaries, or catenaries as we say here in America. Catenaries or catenaries. I will be putting those around since almost all my trains are electric. But wow, the money that's going to cost, and yeah, that's a long time in the future. Wow. Let's see, did I miss any questions? Just popping in before tea. I thought tea was at 3 or 4 UK time, or is there a second tea time? Yeah, let's go to the all view. We got somebody everywhere. That's a good time to have the all view. My problem is I don't drink coffee, and I really don't drink tea. And I certainly don't drink that American aberration called, abomination aberration called iced tea. Ugh, nasty. Ah, good. Village view. Well, the 11 lane view was kind of nice there. Everybody was there. Let's do up the ramp because one guy's going down, one guy's coming up. Yeah, it's, you know, I almost go back to the Lord of the Ring books, you know, when Frodo says to Gandalf, I wish this hadn't happened in my time, and Gandalf gives a big speech. Nobody wishes this happened in their time, but all you can do is make the best of it. Easier said than done. I have not worked since March 23rd. Well, I haven't gone into work since March 23rd. I spent all of April filming and posting work online and into the beginning of May, and then I've been done. And we're supposed to go back to work in just over 2 weeks, and I have no idea. You know, they've got a basic plan, but it doesn't work for my job. You have to stand up and say, that's great for the elementary kids, but it doesn't work in high school. How are you going to work this out in high school? How are you going to do this? It's not going to be easy going back to work in a couple of weeks. And they want us to do half in the building and half at home. And it's like, my wife and I both teach, so we both need access to my online cameras and everything. It's just, it's not going to be easy. Dinner's your mid-dinner. Yeah. And by the way, going back to stuff you said, we don't trade subscriptions. St. Blazer. We encourage people just to check people's out. That's why I encourage people to put links up. Give a chance to see. Give a chance to see people, to see what your channel's like and see if they like it or not. But that's why I make everybody a spanner here. Okay, Mark Visser, you're exactly where I want, and the ghost house sounds awesome. If you've got a video or Facebook image of it, I want to see that. That sounds amazing. Because I still have joke scenes. I have one joke scene on my layout which I can't show, only because I can't get a camera to it. But ever since my first visit to Miniature Wonderland in 2004. My first visit to Miniature Wonderland, 2004. All the joke scenes they have there. Everywhere. And some of them are X-rated jokes. Some of them are hidden. Some of them are, I should say, more than a little are X-rated. But the Germans just aren't hung up about that stuff the way, well, especially Americans are. Oh my God, that's sickening, disgusting. We throw a snit fit over a woman breastfeeding a baby in public, but then we got no problem with Ronda Rousey sucking on the sauce of a Whopper from Burger King wearing her exercise bikini. We got no problem with that. But the Germans just aren't uptight about that. So there's so many jokes. Most of them, 75% of them are very funny and just clean. But 25% are on the naughty side. Yeah, that's great, St. Blazer. And I don't want you to think I was being checked here. But again, it's not about trading subs. We don't encourage trading subs, but we do encourage advertising yourself and seeing if you can get more friends. And again, it's not subscribers. Notice I use the word friends. We are all about hanging out here. There are some of us, and I don't want anybody to feel left out, but J94, Chris, Aberystwyth Station, and a couple others of us, Dave, there's at least 4 or 5 live streams. We are always on together, despite me being in the U.S. and they being in the U.K. There are certain streams we are on together. We see each other all the time, and 2-3 times a day, because of the situation where we have more time, to the point where, 10 years ago I would have said if I haven't met you in person, I can't see us being really friends. Now, they're friends. I consider them friends. And that's, to me, is the whole reason of me putting up a channel. I don't know why other people put up a channel. I put up a channel to meet people that were specifically into trains that I could share this interest and hobby with. That's what I'm about. I don't judge people's layouts. Like somebody says, "Oh, my layout sucks." Like, no, it's cool. But then I'll say I don't say my layout sucks. I just say it's not a layout. It's a train table. I really don't have a true layout going yet. I have parts of it. But even my village is not really a true village. There's little taped streets down, and 90% of these buildings are going to be moved when I start actually building the city. The only thing that's accurate is the train station and the bus station. I'm in the picture. Oh, did the Wells family put one up? Good. They've been quiet for a while. Is it a full video of what they're doing, of their expansion of their shed? Or is it a just a reminder we'll be live tomorrow and Saturday? And yeah, and that's true, because probably the first 50 to 100 subscribers on my channel were friends and family. But, you know, mostly distant friends, former students, and that just wanted to see my trains now and then, and they subscribe because, hey, it's Mr. Dodge's channel. Ha ha ha, let's subscribe. And then friends and family that live far away and can check in and see what I'm doing with my trains, which is usually nothing. But then you start meeting people. Jim at Hover Motion, I've been talking to him for 2 years now, and he's awesome. I love his page, his channel. I love his layout. I have a man crush on him over how his layout and all his German stuff. I'm secure in my manhood enough to say it. If he's listening, he probably just deleted me. But I have a man crush on Jim at Hover Motion's his layout and his all his German trains. He's my real god. Some people it's Sir Everard Junction, who I also think is awesome. Some people it's Charlie Chadwick, but my train god is Jim at Hover Motion. Oh, Tim is on a live feed. Okay. Well, I don't think I can do both. I don't think I can watch a live feed and talk on a live feed. Aha! So that's why John left me. I'm going to have some fun here for a second. No, you have not upset at all. I'm trying to be more positive and encouraging to you, if that's all right. No, not at all. I'm going to mess with Tim here. Bye, ASGWR. Now, see, if he were to tune into my live stream, we could actually talk in 30-second delays. Although now I've got the circle of death from his. That might just be my internet. I don't know. So you guys are watching me and watching my trains while I'm watching Tim's live stream. And two of the people that just left my live stream showed up in Tim's. I know who you are. Just kidding, just kidding. Hi, Tim. There's no such thing as being late. Leslie just popped in on Tipped. Now says he's going back to Anthony's. Uh-oh, I guilted somebody. Is anybody else watching Tim? Is it a spinning circle? Well, that's what I'm doing, John. I'm teasing and watching both. I'm looking at Tim's, but I got the spinning circle of death. And I don't know if it's my internet or my laptop can't handle the chore of one live stream while broadcasting a live stream. People, especially if you're new here, people got to know my sense of humor because I never want to be interpreted the wrong way. And I could come across really, even with my high-pitched voice, I come across as authoritative or bossy, and I don't want to do that. I'm just a friendly guy. Usually. I mean, you just look at these baby blues, and don't you just see love and kindness and way too many experimentations with illicit chemicals? No. Truth, I never did drugs. Never even smoked a joint. A little bit of beer and alcohol. One really dumb night with tequila back when I was 19, where I almost killed myself and decided that wasn't the way to do things. Wait, do I need to refresh mine? Because that's not easy to do. Nope, mine's looking okay. Then again, I'm on a 30-second delay. It may come up bad. The refresh rate sometimes. Well, let's do the all view and see what's happening there. Because the problem is to refresh it, I would have to completely start over. Oh, sounds like Tim's back. Hey, I'm going to do something silly for a second. Stay with me. Just bear with me. I'm stopping my trains.
Now I'm going to wait and just count until someone in the chat says sound. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. He had to reboot.
Right, sorry about that, guys. That was my fault.
Well, okay. So, anyhow, let's go back to my trains. That was a replay. Apparently it ended, or he's starting over. Kieran, you had an accident this morning? Hey, Hypno's Best, welcome. No, the hardest alcohol I drink now is peach brandy from a little shop on the Rhine River, Stefan's Wine Paradise, peach brandy. That stuff is good, and even then, I don't drink much. If I'm lucky, I drink 1 beer a week, if I'm lucky. Now, when I'm in Germany, it's more like 6 or 7 a week. But I don't drink hard liquor or alcohol. It's beer, very, very rarely a wine, and I've got several bottles of peach brandy from Stefan's Wine Paradise in St. Goar, Rhineland. That's the stuff. I should have my wife bring it down. Just a little tipsy up for the daddy. Alright, let's go Village View. Nothing's there yet, but yeah, somebody will be coming around. Zoom. That's not even a zoom. It's not going fast enough for a zoom. I'll give you a zoom in a second here. This is a zoom. Watch that railjet disappear quickly. That's a zoom. That was up to 200 kilometers an hour. That's a zoom. No, that's what happened with me and tequila. Somebody said, you got to try this. 3 tequila sunrises, 4 beers, and 35 shots of tequila later, I was comatose and sick for 3 days. And yes, you heard that. 35 shots of tequila in a shots contest after 4 beers and 3 tequila sunrises. I was at college and I repainted. I was at university and I repainted my dorm room, if you know what I mean. Projectile vomiting of the most fun level. I am surprised I'm not dead, which is why I stopped drinking for 20 years after that. No, hey, Mickey, how are you? Christopher. No, there's nothing wrong. You can love Japan and the Rhineland and everything else. I've never been to the UK, but I love it. I've never been to Sweden, but I love it. I've never been to Florida, but I hate it. Sorry if you're from Florida. That's not even political, people. That's just alligators and humidity and swamp and people that make you hate yourself for the body you have. Sort of like LA. Northern California's cool. I gotta fix something here. That darn cat. That darn cat knocking my trees over. Yeah. Perry likes to get on my train table at times and chew on the trees. Before I ever do a running session, I have to check all the trees and make sure. All right, Chris. It's all right. I'm just kidding about all that. But yeah, yeah, it was good to see. I miss your stream in the morning. Tuesdays and Thursdays is tennis. Every now and then Wednesday is kayaking. So my wife and I are gone in the morning. I don't think we're going kayaking tomorrow because she has a in-service she has to attend roughly about the time we get back from kayaking. We have little plastic kayaks and we live about a 20-minute walk, 20-minute walk from the river, although we actually put the kayaks on our SUV and drive over and get in the river, but it's nothing fancy or anything. Well, there's that too. Hey, Christopher, remember, my uncle flew bombers over Germany during World War II. And he married a German girl right after the war. He stayed, let's see, he went into the military in 42, and he stayed in England when he was the bomber pilot, but then he stayed stationed in Germany after the war. He stayed in the military. So he stayed for like 8 years. He helped do the Berlin airlift and met a girl in Berlin while doing the Berlin airlift in 40, wasn't that 48? The Luftbrücke. He was flying in the was he flying the C-130s then? Because he flew bombers, and then was he flying the supplies or? But yeah, he volunteered and stayed after the war to fly in supplies, and that's where he met my aunt. Met her in Berlin. She was one of the young ladies in Berlin after the war that helped unload the planes when they would come into Tempelhof. Yeah, we're up to 23. Cool. See, I don't know my planes. I mean, I know what a P-51 Mustang is. I know a B-17 and B-24 and all that. And some of the modern things. And I had models of various aircrafts. I know Spitfire. but I just never made that a major piece of the study. That's why I can't tell you if I don't remember if my uncle threw B-17s or B-24s. I don't remember if it was the Liberator, the Fortress, or the Super Fortress, which was, what, the B-29? So, what do we have happening? Well, we got some guys coming in the village view. Coming around. I'm starting to like this view. It's just that I don't always have trains on it. And then the 11 lane run here gets everybody now and then. So all 6 trains are temporarily in view. You never see that in real life, but that's why model trains are cool. Uh-oh. Let's do it again. Up the ramp, up the ramp. We got 2 guys coming up the ramp and one was going down. Yep, they're sharing speeds. Now they're both out of the village view. It's a race. The Railjet and the ICE-2 are having a race. The ICE-2 is pulled out in front. See, I do like this view too. Again, I don't think to put the camera on enough, and not always a lot of trains there. But, you know, again, you can even see the trains in the distance circling around me. But then you get to see me. Well, that's a great bit of mathematics and stuff for you. The Railjet is actually going 20 kilometers an hour faster than the ICE-2, but the ICE-2 passed it and got ahead of it in that race because it's running the shorter circuit. But see, that's a great view of the Czech Railjet there. Those are such a pretty train. That is my next goal, Mr. Visser, especially if one has a decent enough wide angle. It would be cool, and that's been an idea. In fact, when I started this stream today, that was one of the first things I talked about. I ordered another webcam to do exactly that. I ordered it last week. It was supposed to be here Thursday. It's still not here. I ordered it off of Amazon.com, and it was supposed to be here, but it's lost somewhere in the mail. It got to my city, but it has not made it to my doorstep. That was 4 days ago. And then I ordered a bunch of stuff because I was going to put, I was going to do the cheap way of putting lights in, let's see, where is he? He's coming around right now. The ICE-2 coming right now. Coming right here. Oh, I'm sorry, right there. His cars don't light up. And I was going to send them off and pay about $400 to get them all lit up. All new lights and everything else. But I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it the cheap way, which is like 4 people have done videos of it just in the last week and a half, which is what finally talked me into it. But I'm trying to think who did it last year, the first time I saw it being done that way. Might have even been Charlie at Chadwick, Charlie Bishop. But where you just get an LED strip, you get what we call a bistable, oh crap, my brain's not working, a latching or a bistable reed switch. Not a reed sensor, but a reed switch. So bistable or latching reed switch. And then a watch battery, a 2025 or a 2032. And you can just wire each one and turn them on and off with a magnet. And rather than spend $400, I bought enough to do 2 trains for $25. $30 with the batteries. And all of that was supposed to be here Saturday, so I was going to do it Saturday night and yesterday and Monday. I'm sorry, yesterday was Monday. Sunday and Monday, and then today, when I was planning on going live today, I was going to show off, hey, look at the new lights in my trains, and no, that's not happening. Yeah, hi, Jack's Model Railway. Hi, Rachel. Nice to have you here. Hope everybody's well. I am, for the most part, okay. I've been grumpy. I've been really sick of this heat and being kind of stuck in the house. I do get out early in the morning before I ever watch live streams or go on live streams. But I've just had bad luck with technology. My laptop broke in half, literally broke in half last night. My personal laptop. I have 2 laptops. Actually, I have 3 laptops. One of them is now dead. My personal laptop. My best laptop is actually this one, but it's not my... This is connected into my layout system here. This is my downstairs. I actually have another laptop right here, which is an old one of mine that I kind of fixed up just enough that I can use it to help run my layout. If I'm over here, I've also got my trains on this laptop. If I go to 11 lane view, you might see it better. My hand's on right here. So I've got a laptop here and a laptop here. But this one is a piece of crap, but just barely works enough that I can connect it to the Wi-Fi down here and run my Central Station 3 on it. So I really have 2 Central Station 3s now. I've got my Central Station 3 and then I've got it on this computer as well, since I stream with this computer. But anyhow, that's all the grumbling. So my new webcam didn't come in. My laptop, my big laptop, it's a 17.5-inch laptop. The one I use for work and playing games and sitting in the living room watching TV and being on the internet with. That one was already breaking, and last night it went snap. So I'm having a bad week and a half of technology, considering I also crashed 2 of my trains last week because I was an idiot. Yeah, let's go to station. Because I'd also like to get a camera more deep in the heart of the station where you could see the people and hear the station announcements and see the signage and everything. Because I did a great job with that. You'd probably have to go to either my Facebook page, the HO Model Train Outsider, or go to one of my older videos when I put these up last year, when I put the canopies and the people up towards the end of last year. Because I'm very proud of that. I love how I did the under canopy lighting and the speaker system in it so that it all works. But as I said in the last stream, the coolest thing about doing live streams, is talking to people. That's the coolest. People that I'm now talking to in multiple chats, that's the coolest thing on planet Earth, is talking to people live, not via email or an occasional Facebook bit, but talking directly. You're typing, I talk to you, respond to what you're saying, you respond to what I'm saying, or you totally ignore me and talk about other stuff. But either way, it's cool. Well, Mark, despite some people, and I've got friends and family that work for the United States Postal Service, our government-run postal service does a fantastic job. Every now and then something will get lost or, over the years, but that's extremely, extremely rare. Some people seem to be more snake bit than others. I have nothing negative. Our U.S. Post Office was actually solvent, making money. But there are people that want to make the American Post Office, the United States Postal Service, they want to privatize it, make it a private company, where they can buy it and sell shares in it and blah, blah, blah. And actually it was solvent. It was making a profit and doing good business. It was doing such good business that Amazon.com had moved away from FedEx and UPS more and had been using the United States Postal Service more. But last year, they changed the retirement system for the postal workers, the head of the U.S. Postal Service, and they now had to pay 50 years of retirement in advance. Can you understand that? 50 years of retirement in advance. And the intention is to bankrupt the Postal Service so that they can sell it off. It's intentional, and I don't want to talk politics, but I just kind of talk politics because it's dirty to the post office because our Postal Service is very good. UPS here is usually pretty good. FedEx, meh. And so, during the virus, and I'll say the word virus, during this whole pandemic we have, what video am I on? Yeah, this one. Let's go to all scenes again. They've been working overtime to make sure things are getting delivered. Well, last week, they canceled all overtime. They laid a bunch of people off, and everybody that's left, like my sister-in-law and cousin and a couple of friends, they're suddenly working a lot harder than they have to or should. And it's ugly. And I'll start because I don't want to be political, but it's the post office, and I've always felt, back in the 70s and 80s, I felt the post office was kind of bad, but in the last 20, 25 years, it's been fantastic, the U.S. Postal Service. So I'll leave it there and call it down. All right, thank you, Richard. I appreciate you stopping by and staying. I know you're either popping a video up tomorrow or you're going live tomorrow, or did I see you? Because you canceled one thing you were going to do. There it is, John. I could get 2 deliveries a day from our postal workers and from the USPS. I could get 2 deliveries a day because they'll bring letters and that stuff one time, and then packages will come later. Well, now they're not running the package truck, which is probably where a couple of my packages are. The other one's FedEx, so Lord knows where FedEx came from or has it. But yeah, that's a long story to answer Mark's question. Yes, I do want to put a camera up behind me and see if I could get a whole table view. I don't know if I could get a whole table view, but it would be cool. It would be cool. I'm also running out of ports to plug in all these cameras. I actually do have a, let me pop this one off. Hi, Lee again. Where am I at? Man, I'm just loving the camera today. I got one of these El Cheapos. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put it in front of the light. There it is. You know, you can get these under about 50 different company names. This one is DB Power, but it's the same exact. It's a 4K camera that you can stream with. So I took this off my layout a long time ago because I kept forgetting to turn it off and it would overheat. All the other ones turn off when I shut off OBS. This one stays on. So I got other webcams and I took this one off. And I decided, oh, what the heck, I'll put it up here. It's got a nice wide angle lens. I'll put it right, you can see that little bit behind me. That brain's not working today. Soffit behind me. Thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. There's a little soffit behind me here. And I was thinking I could stick this on it somewhere and get a tabletop view, you know, sky view of my layout, which I think would be cool, and in 4K. But as soon as I plug it in, it shuts down two of the other cameras on my layout. They conflict with each other because this drains too much power. This eats up way too much power. So one of my Logitechs and one of my generics shut down. I either can run this camera or two others, and I have to shut off OBS and reboot it to get it to work again. So yeah, well, Amazon was reliable in the United States, but Amazon here in the United States uses the United States Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS. Now, when they would use the United States Postal Service or UPS, there weren't problems. Lately, UPS is having problems, and now the United States Postal Service is having problems. Now, Amazon in the United States is talking about doing their own delivery, creating their own delivery force, and not using any of the other mail delivery people. That's a lot of jobs. It's going to take jobs away from other companies, but it's a lot of jobs. But lately, even UPS here in the United States has not been reliable, because three of the last four things I've had from UPS were delayed. And I try to blame it on the virus. I try to blame it on the situation at hand. Well, if I could afford the $400 for a GoPro, and yes, technically, if I didn't buy a train or I didn't do something else, I could afford a GoPro. But it's sort of like justifying the GoPro. Because, yeah, I'd love to have a GoPro and put it on a wagon and do a live Wi-Fi feed cab view like Sparky did the other day, where he put it on the front of his train and ran his train. Yes, I would do that too. It's just there's so many things I want to buy, but there is a budget I really can't break. I'm already turning around and buying an Alex train I wasn't planning on buying, and that's going to get put on hold here temporarily because I got to get a new laptop. So I'm in a situation where, yes, I can afford on most paydays to go out and drop $200 to $400 on something, but that would be the one time I do it for a few months. But at the same time, I now have a list of things I want to buy that keep getting put back because roof on the house, roof on the garage, my daughter, we just bought her a big room air conditioner. So there's always something that gets in the way. Life happens. You all understand that. The thing is, I don't like to complain about money being tight because people see my layout table on my trains like, that's a lot of money. But then I look at Sam's and go, that's a lot of money. When I add up, and I've done it a couple of times, and I've added up what I've spent on tracks and trains and control systems down here, I hate myself. I really do. I start, you know what that money could have done? That's the thing. I just dropped $60 for another webcam, and my wife's like, "Did you really need a sixth webcam?" And I'm like, well, no, but I wanted one. And she's just like, all right, whatever. And then she's like, where are you going to put this one? Do you think that's a good view? Because once she accepts what I've done, then she's the other side. She's very supportive and, all right, where are you going to go with this one? She didn't want me to buy this Alex train as I started this feed talking about she really did not want me to buy this Alex train. But I've talked myself into buying it. So now she's like, okay, and where are you going to park it now? And what kind of cars do you need to go with it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's a great woman. I would call her a genius, except she married me. People get, her family and friends and that will sometimes get offended because I said our marriage is living proof that a man is smarter than a woman. And I say that as a joke. And everybody's like, how could you say that? I was like, because I was smart enough to marry her and she was dumb enough to marry me. But I'm not into the male superiority bullcrap. I watched that woman give birth to 3 kids, and I was like, hell no. Men cringe seeing another man take a shot in the balls. Women pop out watermelons out of a nostril hole. Who's tougher? Hey, Simo, thanks for stopping by. And Carl, you've been here a while and I didn't say hello to you, so sorry about that, Carl. Well, whenever I feel too bad about how much money I spend on trains, I do look back on the first 3/4 of my life and say, I've earned it. The last 18 years, for the most part, have been quite a change in life from especially how I grew up. But I have gotten to travel to Germany 16 times in the last 18 years. Now, most of that was with the school exchange program, but still cost money. And I now have these amazing trains, and I've gotten to experience a lot of things in life that 17-year-old me or 18-year-old me would not have expected to happen. So it's all good. Other than when 4 packages get lost in the mail, my laptop breaks, and I crash 2 trains all in a week. Then maybe I start going, why me? Coffee sounds like... No, I have not been to the UK. My wife and I will be in the UK in June of 2022. The only traveling I have done, I've been to Canada many times. I've been to Niagara Falls about 15, 16 times because it's about a 6-hour drive from here. 7 if my wife has to go to the bathroom. She hates it when I bring that up. I always say it's a 6-hour drive or 7.5, depending on how much pop my wife has on the trip. They got those small bladders to fit those big babies in there. But otherwise, it's always been Germany except for twice I've been in the Czech Republic for a day. I spent a day in Prague, and then I spent a day in this little town called Hrensko. Schrensko, which is somewhere on the border between this German town called Bad Schandau and, well, Schrensko. It's on the, it's just off the Elbe River on another river, and it's this tiny little, it's a pretty area, but the town itself is run by two different families that own all these knockoff shops, like fake Nikes and fake starter jackets and fake this and fake that. It's just these two families, and they weren't Czech families. Let's see, when we get to the UK... Oh, great, we're coming during the Commonwealth Games. That's never good. We are traveling all over. I assume we're going to fly into London and spend just a couple of days in London. Of all the things in the UK, London is not the big thing. We'll probably do one of those stupid tourist double-decker bus rides. I mean, I want to go see... I want to see the Jack the Ripper stuff. All right, call me creepy that way. And see the main tourist sites of London, just to see them. But my goal in the UK is not London. So we want to see a couple of the big castles, like, what is it, Carnarvon in northern Wales. But we want to ride that one, is it Southwest Rails? I don't know the company. We want to ride that one Southwest Rail train that goes right next to the seawall, where, like, when the wind is blowing, the waves crash over the train. Like, right there on the seawall, where they've even had cases where storms have knocked the train over. We want to do that. Not get knocked over, but we want to ride that rail. To be that much on the ocean on a train would be the best of both worlds. But so we want to see some castles in Wales, but we're not opposed to stopping and seeing some people. And then we're going to cut back into the UK. We definitely want to spend some time in Liverpool, but we'll stop off and see people anywhere. If there's somebody that says, hey, stop off here, but we're going to ride trains. We're not renting a car. We're going to ride trains, and eventually we'll work our way up to Edinburgh and Glasgow. We want to see both those. We also want to go see, pardon me, English people. But we do want to go see Stamford Bridge battle site. I want to go see where William Wallace kicked the crap out of the English. There's just that 1% Scottish blood in me that wants to go experience that moment. But we do want to head up to the UK. But Liverpool, we'll definitely spend a few days in Liverpool because I love Liverpool. I'm a huge Beatle fanatic. So I will see all the Beatle places. I want to see Anfield. I won't get to see a game in June, but I do want to see Anfield. Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. And if we get a chance, we'll cross over and go to Northern Ireland. But we're planning on 4 weeks, because we usually spend three and a half weeks in Germany, but we figured we'd up it. So yeah, we don't have any specifics other than Liverpool is a main hub, and I want to see Carnarvon Castle in Wales. Yes, we are going to come to see you, Chris. We're going to hang outside your room on the sidewalk and shout out and make noise. Or you can threaten your upstairs neighbors that I am a hitman from America, come to take them out because they're always annoying you. Yo, I can do a hitman accent. Yo. Yo. Mr. and Mrs. Fazuli, I see you are annoying my friend down below. I'm going to make you a proposition you cannot refuse. You either stop dancing around on the ceiling or your kids get cement shoes. You know what I'm saying? You keep the kids quiet or I pour Drano down their throats. You understand me? Capiche? This is the reason the Canadian-U.S. border is closed right now. John, I'd say something in here, but I'd probably get in trouble with a couple listeners. I'd like to come across the border right now. Actually, I'd love to go to Niagara Falls right now. I have been there so many times, and it never gets old. I'm not into the tourist stuff on Clifton Hill. You have to walk past that stuff, but the walls are free. The falls are free. You just walk down and walk back and forth. Turtle Rock and all that. Just walk back and forth. Wait till nighttime when they light up the falls. Occasionally fireworks shows. The falls are amazing. I love the Maid of the Mist. I love behind the falls, although one of the sides changed their names because it used to be Maid of the Mist on both sides, but now the company split in half. There's the Canadian side and the American side, and I forget which one is Maid of the Mist now, and one's got a different name. Because I haven't been to Niagara Falls since 2012, 2013. It's been a few years now. You want to talk about fun crossing the border? Simon's leaving? Oh, Stamford Bridge. Yeah, right. Stamford Bridge was Harold against the Vikings. Right. Sorry about that. Yes. Stamford Bridge was Harold beating the Vikings. That's one of the things that gets forgotten. For the little time Harold was king, the dude was amazing. He fought 3 massive battles in 2 weeks. And he still could have won Hastings. And what a different world it would be. English wouldn't have all that crap French in it now. I'm sorry. I had 3 German grandparents born and raised in Germany. And they all had less than loving feelings towards the French. Can I tell a bad French joke that my grandfather Reitz told me? Can I show a bad joke? I'm going to risk it. This was my grandfather Reitz joke. This is French military training. This is French military training, according to my grandpa Reitz. Tony, this is how the French practice in the military. Left hand up, right hand up, wave. Left hand up, right hand up, wave. That was my grandfather's French joke. My apologies to anybody French or anybody offended by that joke. Well, in all honesty, there is a level of hate with France. The Parisians hate all the outsiders of France, all the non-Parisians in France. And all the people outside of Paris hate the Parisians. The Provence and the Aquitanian people hate the other people outside of France. And then all the people of France hate the French Canadians. So there's sort of a pecking order here of who hates who. Needs a refill, but I'll be getting off in a few minutes, so I'll just wait till then. No, one of the coolest things I have to say is when I went to Prague, the second time I was in the Czech Republic, when I went to Prague, I was talking to a couple of the locals because they first thought I was German because I instinctively spoke German, not English, because I'm used to traveling around Germany and speaking German everywhere. And I would go up to people and go, "Hallo, Entschuldigung," wait, I'm sorry, "Hello, excuse me," or I try to do what little Czech I know, "Ahoy," and they were talking. It's like, yeah, the Czechs, we really don't like the Germans, but we're trying to change our attitude so they'll come and spend money in our country. My wife and I laughed hysterically at that. We're not really fond of the Germans, but we're trying to change our attitude because we want them to come and spend their money here. And I understand the Dutch. And I think I told this joke a couple of times. Back in 2015, I was with my students on the Rhine River staying in a hostel. And there was a group of Danish kids at this hostel. And they and their teacher were talking while I'm waiting for my students so we can go off on one of our walking trips. And the teacher and a couple of parents that are supervising the kids are talking. And I'm understanding 70% of what they're saying, 75% of what they're saying. And they said something, and I started laughing, and they said, "Oh, do you speak Danish?" And I said, "Oh, you're Danish. It sounded German to me. I was understanding what you were saying." And they looked so offended at me. "Danish does not sound like German." I'm like, yeah, it does. And you're actually related to each other quite heavily. Same thing with the Dutch. I can read Dutch. When it's spoken, I can't necessarily understand it, but I can read it because I can guess what the same word is in German in most cases. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Blazy. Really appreciate it. This is how my things go. I yak forever and people eventually fall asleep or leave. But yeah, I do this a couple times a week just because I get bored, trapped at home. I've had a couple of Dutch students in my classroom, exchange students from the Netherlands that had nothing to do with my exchange program. They were just year-long exchange students studying in America. And they took German. And one girl was very, "Oh, our Dutch sounds so horrible. I even prefer German to Dutch. Dutch is so horrible." And I was like, I don't know. I think all languages are pretty. It just depends on what they're saying to you. For example, French can cuss you out and sound beautiful. Wait, how does it go? Tu es la tête de merde. Tu es la tête de merde. Tu es la tête de merde. De merde. Tu es la tête de merde. You have a head of shit. But it sounds so poetic, you know? "Oh, speak French to me, it's so romantic." Tu es la tête de merde. You have a head of shit. And then in German, "Ich liebe dich." What'd you call me? "Ich liebe dich." You're calling me a what? No, I am saying I love you. "Ich liebe dich. Du gefällst mir." So German, you can say nice thing and it sounds bad, and in French, you can say bad things and it sounds nice. Hey, Rule 1, welcome. Oh, Leslie, we have the same thing here. We have many different nationalities, ethnic groups that speak Spanish. We have Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Haitians, Dominicans, all kinds of people from the Spanish-speaking world. And they hate on each other in a ridiculous way. Like somebody speaking, I have a friend from Texas who is of Mexican descent who speaks Spanish. He's a colleague of mine at work, and he speaks fluent Spanish, and he has a Texas Mexican accent. And we had a Cuban substitute teacher in, and he tried talking Spanish with the Cuban substitute, and he said, I knew I was in trouble the minute I heard they were from Cuba. Because the Mexicans will say, oh my God, I can't understand Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans will say, you think we're bad, listen to the Cubans. The Cubans say, you think we're bad, listen to the Dominicans. And it just goes down the line. And it's the same thing. In German, oh my goodness, the accents in Germany. I can speak or understand quite a few, but man, every now and then I'll get into a region where I have to go from speaking German to saying, Sprechen Sie Hochdeutsch? Or langsamer bitte. Do you speak High German? Or can you speak more slowly, please? Rhinelander German can get me if it's spoken fast. Tyrolean Austrian I can usually understand because they speak slow, but Bavarian, when Bavarian speaks their little mountain dialects and they speak quickly, oh my goodness. I can understand Bavarian great, but when they start speaking the farmer's dialect, the mountain dialect, I'm lost. Oh, I hate to say that, rule one. I do hate it when Americans kind of say that to, hey, speak English. But, you know, in the UK there are so many dialects, whether, you know, it's a Scottish or Irish brogue in English, or, you know, the more infamous Cockney, which anybody who tries to speak British English, they'll either do some bizarre combination of the Queen's English or whatever, hello peasants, or some bad version of Cockney, hello Harry, how you been? And that's before we even get into that monk or the rhyming slang that's in several parts. Hello, you got the lemon and lime? What? The lemon and lime, you know, the lemon and lime. And it took me a couple of times talking to a couple of people to realize they were asking for the time. And most Americans only know British accents from, if they're my age, Monty Python, or Prince Charles speaking, or Margaret Thatcher. Hey, for my first attempt at Maggie, that wasn't bad. Mr. Majors, I need to go to the Queen. But then you got the Liverpudlian accent, which I got from the Beatles. And I know even Liverpool's got its different accents. You know, Ringo was from an area called the Dingle, and he had that slightly different accent. But you wind up doing a stereotype. Hello, this is Ringo. Yeah. You gotta get a little deeper to get Ringo's voice. Peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. If I had a photograph. But the United States, we got Texas accents, Tennessee accents, you know, all kinds of accents. And of course, everybody always goes, I don't have an accent, you have an accent. But even New York has about 15 different borough accents. A guy from Brooklyn and a guy from Queens talks differently. Then you got the Jersey accent, which became famous on MTV a few years ago. All those pea-brains with too much money, Jersey Beach or Jersey Shore or whatever it was. Oh, I gotta start signing off because Jason is on in 5 minutes, so I really need to sign off. so that everybody can go to the bathroom. Yeah, New York accents. But the funny thing is, New Yorkers are so bad, they rip on everybody else about accents. That drives me crazy with New Yorkers. If Heath were here, I'd give him a hard time. Because New Yorkers are like, hey, yo. Although now I'm going Philadelphia with Rocky. Hey, yo, you got a problem with my accent? Why don't you learn to speak English? I'm sorry, I can't help you. Yeah. Hey, I was over on 43rd Street and 32nd Avenue. Come on, what's going on here? You know, New York, there's so many New York accents. And again, it's by the borough. And London has, I don't know how many accents, like 13 different dialects. But we all go with the Queen. Hello, peasants. Andrew, Philip, put those women down. Oh, sorry. All right, so anyhow, yeah, I've got to... Bye, Chris, again. I got to let everybody go. Let's see. Best I had was in Cheyenne, Wyoming, being accused of being from New Zealand. Well, we confuse. Hey, are you an Aussie? You know, are you... Now, I did meet a man from Birmingham who had been a world traveler, and he had an accent. I accused him of being Aussie at first. I had to have him say a few words before I said, okay, you're not Aussie. Aussies drag that A out. I'm Australian. G'day, mate. Australian. But it was close to his accent originally. Anyhow, I got to go because I do not want to cross over on Jason's, and he's getting ready to go live in 3 minutes. So I want to thank all of you guys who showed up. It was awesome having you here. And if you had a good time, then I had a good time. And it was a good time. So everybody take care, and I will see you in somebody's stream, if not my own, later. Probably on Jason's later. Bye, all.